Hello and welcome to Significant Voices. I'm Wanda Miller and I'll be your host today. This story is about a father and a mother who found the greatest joy in their only son. He loved spending time with them, and they always thought they would spend all their days watching him grow, watching him love life and laugh, watching Alabama ball games and gathering as a family at Thanksgiving and Christmas. All just memories now. It was the week of Thanksgiving 1999 when Daryl Kimbrel watched Alabama beat Auburn, and he laughed and celebrated with his mom and dad and his girlfriend. The rivalry win was his, and he had bragging rights for the whole next year. The next morning, Darrell was driving down Cox Creek Parkway in Florence, Alabama. We can only imagine he might have been thinking about that ball game or possibly about the upcoming Thanksgiving celebration, being with his family and enjoying all the good food and fellowship. Darrell had everything to live for. He was just starting his life, and his future was unlimited, until his path crossed another, someone who didn't put a value on the life of Daryl Kimbrel. A parent should never have to bury their 32-year-old son. Denny and Johnnie Kimbrel buried their son Darrell. Please welcome them now to tell their story.
Okay, Darrell, our only child, is a very good young man, never caused us any problems whatsoever. I traveled a lot out of state, out of town, so I missed being home and missed out on a lot of things that him and Mom done. And he became called Mama's boy, but he was Daddy's boy. We moved around. I worked construction. We moved around all over the place in Tennessee and wherever. In Chattanooga 4 years. We really loved it there. It became time that we didn't need to be moving him around from school to school like I had been in my younger days. So we moved to Killen, Center Star, Alabama, and put Darrell in Brooks High School. I bought a 2-acre lot out there, and that way I had to go out of town working, mostly nuclear plants, short job, long hours. I'd miss out on a lot of things. He was very, very good in golf, and he had a lot of super friends. He was just a good kid, good young man. In the later years, he wanted to become a pipe fitter, and he went to college at UNA for a while, and he worked always. Even in high school, he was always working, earning his own money. Later on, he wanted me to get him in the pipe fitter's apprentice program. I told him, Darrell, I have to travel and be out of town a lot. You might not want to do that. Well, he didn't get in the apprentice program. The next time around, he did get in the apprentice program. He served the apprentice program. And when he topped out, him and I worked in 3 states on 4 jobs together. We become a lot closer now that we weren't loving each other. Went to Michigan twice, went to Arkansas. My last job was in Missouri at a nuclear plant. And I got a picture at the house. That was the last picture made of Darrell. We got through that job. We was coming home for Thanksgiving. He loved Thanksgiving about as much as he did Christmas or more. Loved to get togethers with the family. We came home for Thanksgiving. We watched Alabama and Auburn. He was a big Alabama fan. We never missed the game hardly. Used to go to a bunch of games, but watched the game at our house. And his girlfriend was a nurse in Florence. She come out to watch the game with us. He had bought a new truck, and he had a bed liner put in it. So when it come time, ball games was over, Alabama beat Auburn. He was happy, really happy. He carried his girlfriend home in Florence. He spent the night with her.
Daryl Kimbrel wanted to follow in his father's footsteps and become a pipe fitter. Then he told him about all the long days away from home and the hard work, but Darrell pushed ahead anyway. At the time, Denny couldn't have known that those days with his son would be cherished memories. They traveled across 3 states and worked side by side, and they became closer than ever. Then they came home to be with Johnnie, to rest and relax and enjoy the holidays and Darrell's birthday, coming up on November 22nd, 1999.
He got up that morning, and he started out the driveway, and his girlfriend said she looked out the window, and he stopped. She didn't know why he'd stopped. He stopped to put his Alabama flags up. We often wonder if he hadn't stopped that few seconds or few minutes, couple minutes, this may not ever happen. Anyway, he's coming down 72. When he got to Cox Creek Parkway, a young man who was on drugs, they had been to Colbert County, doing drugs all night long. He attempted to get a two-party check cashed over at a convenience store in most shows. They wouldn't cash it. A friend of him was with him. He said, I'm going home to my granddad's and get some money. His granddaddy lived in Florence. The young man was with him and said, no, I'm done. I've had enough. Take me by my house and let me out. He did. He went to his granddad, woke his granddad up. His granddad tried to get him to eat breakfast, stay there and not go nowhere, and he kept wanting $20. They got $20. He was headed back to the crack house down Highway 72 up Cox Creek Parkway, and Darrell was coming home from Florence, and he broadside Darrell. The young man behind the vehicle that the killer was in saw who run the red light. If he had not testified in court to testify who run the red light, the defense would say, we don't know who run the red light. So that helped us get a conviction. We had another DA at that time, had another victim service officer at that time. They kept wanting us to plea bargain, and we just didn't want to go with that. Just kept on, and 3 months later, they finally arrested the young man. Florence Police Department arrested him in Colbert County. He had drugs on him. Florence Police Department turned them drugs over to Colbert County Sheriff. They brought him over here to Florence and arrested him. So a long time later, they went to grand jury, could indict him for manslaughter, homicide, or murder. They came back with a murder indictment, which is very rare in Lauderdale County or maybe the state, or murder DUI. So that was 3 months done passed before he got arrested. It was a long period of time before the trial come up, and they kept wanting us to accept a plea. And all we could say was, no, let the jury hear the evidence, let them decide. We finally went to court. Doug Evans was the assistant DA. He done a good job. Steve Brown was the DA. He didn't want us to go to court. He wants to plea. So in 2 hours' time, the jury come back with a murder conviction. And Judge Jones heard the case. When it come time to sentencing, Judge knew all the facts and the details. He sentenced the young man to 25 years.
A moment that changed his life. He put up his flag to celebrate Alabama's win. A split second that put Darrell at that intersection at the exact time his murderer ignored a red light and ended the life of Daryl Kimbrel. It's an agonizing detail that has left this family wishing he had taken just a few more seconds, a moment, before he pulled out on that highway. The Kimbrels didn't know that along with the grief and anguish would come a battle for justice that would see their son's killer only serving 17 years of his sentence.
And he served 17 years of that 25, and we went to 3 pro hearings. The last one we went to, they told us at the pro board that most likely they were going to release him. So they only give him 1 year. They said we can come back and protest if we want to. Basically told us they were going to cut him loose after 17 years. So we didn't even go to that pro hearing. We thought that was a wasted trip. His mama had moved to Arizona. As far as I know, that's where he's at. We haven't heard any details of how he is, what he's doing. As far as I know, he never showed no remorse. We give an impact statement at trial to sentencing. And I just let him know he's the one that done this to us. We not doing that to him. So that got that far in court. Vocal wasn't involved at that time. There wasn't no vocal chapter here. A group out of Huntsville came to trial. They even come to the house to counsel Johnny, which helped a lot. And they overloaded with cases over there nowadays, more so than ever. they've cut down on their force. And then Mary Ann Rippey, as she got involved, she started vocal chapter here. She's one of the first presidents, and she done a great job. And we helped support her and stayed with vocal, supporting the victims, help educate them. We had never been to the courthouse other than get a driver's license, and we learned a lot about the justice system or unjust system, and we help the victims all we can to educate them what to expect, what to ask for, maybe what not to accept. And Chris Conley's done a really good job. We was lucky to get him.
We never had been to the courthouse other than to get driver's license. That's how Denny Kimbrel explains his knowledge of the criminal justice system before starting his fight for justice for his son. The Kimbrels speak a lot about the people who helped them through this process, the advocates and the others who had experienced the loss of someone they loved to a criminal act. This mother and father found peace and healing in helping others. They only wanted to save one child and keep another family from going through what they had lived through. What a selfless way to turn tragedy into a testament of the love for their son.
Much later on, I got involved with Operation Save Teens. We went to all the schools, speaking to high schools about drinking and driving, doing drugs, hoping to save one life. Spoke at all the schools in Calvert County, Lauderdale County. Mike Reeves is the manager of Operation Save Teens. He's going to do one program at Dessler, and we're sort of glad to go over there and tell a story. So I go over there, and Mike says, "You mind stepping aside? I got another speaker tonight." So I sat there and heard the whole story. There wasn't no other speaker. I was helping him take his sound system to the car. He stopped me on the sidewalk. He said, "If I let you speak tonight, was he going to blast the DA?" That DA, it was over there. I don't know. He just didn't do a job. He wasn't going to do a job. And we're thankful to have what we got over here. We could write a book about what we've been through. I spoke with Mothers Against Drug Drivers with Linda Richardson out of Athens. Went to many places with her to speak. Anything I could do to try to keep another family from going through what we went through. And we just hoped that we could help one family, save one child. But by getting involved with vocal and learning more about the system and helping other people, and then Patsy Michael become president. She done a really great job. Rusty Ernest, I had worked at Brownsbury. I knew Rusty personal, and I'd worked with him out of town before he worked at Brownsbury. So I knew Patsy, I knew Rusty through Patsy. And Patsy, when she had a preliminary hearing, I was here to help her. Johnny was here to support her. And in many cases, Charles and Rebecca. And then I took over the vocal chapter for 2 or 3 years. Now Lauren's doing a good job. Got to step in and fill the shoes.
Using your story to help other people. And there's nothing greater than the information.
We come home for Thanksgiving. This happened in 1999, November the 21st. Darrell's birthday was November the 22nd. And we put Darrell to rest on Thanksgiving Day. And some are good, some are worse. So still try to enjoy things that Darrell would want us to. Board basically. And they did let us know we could come back and protest one more time. I'd served more time than most had served for that same situation. Not that it'd be enough.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Just want to, because he did love me. He really loved his mama. He would take care of me when Denny was out of town. He worried about me. And I really could use him right now. Well, we lived out of state for so long, and we would, move to a new place and we wouldn't know anybody. And it was just me and him. Denny, was working and it was just me and him. But I don't know. We had a bond that never could have been broke except this way.
This tragedy happened in 1999 on November 21st. Daryl's birthday was November 22nd. Denny and Johnnie laid their son to rest on November 25th, his favorite holiday, Thanksgiving Day. It's hard to comprehend what a parent endures when they bury a child. It's even more complicated when you know the death could have been avoided if only a different decision had been made by the one person who changed the Kimbrel family forever. The one who left these parents serving a life sentence with no parole. We thank you for joining us, and we appreciate your support and hope that you will continue to follow our channel. To learn more about Vocal, Victims of Crime and Leniency, please visit us at vocalonline.org and follow us on social media. Our mission of advocacy depends on your support. Thank you.